When it comes to self-filming, well, in my opinion, it is an absolute art. It is extremely difficult. I love hunting, and I love hunting with a camera, but when you're the hunter and the cameraman, well, that changes everything. Things are much more difficult. I'm talking all the way from carrying your gear in to trying to get the shot to planning everything out. Nothing is easy. But when it all comes together, well, it really is a feeling of accomplishment. And to me, there's a lot of tips and tactics that I've learned doing plenty of self-filming over the years, and this entire episode is dedicated to trying to make you the best you can be out there trying to film yourself. So, first of all, we're going to start off with tree stands. Now, I've hunted in a lot of different locations out of tree stands, and one of the most important things when you're trying to film yourself is have a good camera arm setup. But what you want is that arm to be totally stable so that if you take your hands off of it, it's not going to swing wide and go out crazy. It's going to stay exactly where you need it. Now on this first hunt, I was actually hunting in Iowa. Now this wasn't something that I wanted to be out self-filming, but my cameraman had a sick child at home, so I decided I'm not skipping those first days of November. I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna do my best. Now there are certain times you have to make a decision. Either you're gonna take a shot and get an animal off camera, or you're just gonna film, because sometimes you can't do both. And usually, well, I'm gonna side with, I'm gonna get the footage, I will figure out a way to get it on camera, and I'm not gonna shoot something off camera. And that's important. If you're truly confident in wanting to self-film, you have to set that up. Now granted, if it's a 200-inch deer, yeah, things may change, but know that if you stick to your guns, you will get much better footage and you'll be a lot more successful. So as I'm filming in Iowa, I'm realizing that these deer are just cruising through and there's no way for me to get the shot and to get them on camera. So I just started filming everything coming through. In fact, I had this beautiful buck come in and there was no way for me to get a shot and to film it, so I just filmed the deer. Now after that, well, I was a little mad and I thought, this is ridiculous. How can I get these deer to stay right there so I can get footage of them and make the shot? Perfect idea, a decoy. When you go out filming yourself, one of the things I could recommend is using a decoy, especially if it's during the rut or just before the peak of the rut, because with that, you bring the deer right into the area where you want them. You can have your camera set up there, you can have it focused there, and you can wait for those deer to come in. You're gonna have all the time you need in the world, so you don't need to rush. You can get your camera, you can get your footage, and you can make the shot. Now, a second thing you want to do is, of course, you don't have someone else who can get that real reaction of you. So what I like to do is I like to keep a small camera on my bow, so that way that camera's facing back at me. The camera on the tree arm, that's the one filming the animals in front of you, and that's the one also with the microphone on to get any audio. So by having that set up, you're always getting any real things going on in the tree, and that's important because you don't want to have to go back and make that up. If you're going to try to show your friends online, you want it all to be as real as possible, and that's one of the best ways to do it. In fact, I started using a Garmin now that I put on my bow that's also paired to your heart rate, so you can put your heart rate right into the footage. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It really has amazing picture quality, and to see your heart rate go from just a resting heart rate to skyrocketing when something comes in, well, that makes it pretty cool. And you know, self-filming is for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes people want to go home and they want to show their kids. Some people, they might want to put it on social media, show their friends, whatever the reason is. If you're going to go out and do it, you want to do the best you can. So these are just a few tips, things that have worked for me to help make you more successful.
This segment was brought to you by Sportsman's Alliance, our heritage, our fight, protecting hunting from coast to coast.
Did you know that Ohio is home to the Sportsman's Alliance, which was created when animal rights activists tried to stop trapping within the state? The future of hunting depends on sportsmen sticking together regardless of what you do. Whether you're a deer hunter, duck hunter, fisherman, or you trap, anti-hunters love to divide sportsmen and try to ban the hunting of animals based on this method, such as with bait, when you're using dogs, or even archery and crossbows. Just another fun fact showing how sportsmen and women are helping make a difference. So this is an episode that's really all about the art of self-filming. A lot of people film for a wide variety of reasons, but what I want to do is show my experience in things that can really make it much easier. Now this is never an easy thing, don't get me wrong. If you want to have footage, way easier to have two of you in the field, but sometimes that just doesn't work out. So earlier I covered sitting in a tree, tips that can help you when you're up in a tree. But now I want to cover probably my favorite way to do any type of self-filming, and that is from a ground blind. Now one of the reasons I like a ground blind is you have more windows. You have a wide variety to pick from, you can be set up, and I usually like to set a ground blind up so that I have something behind me. So I really have about 3 ways of where I can shoot, and I have a tripod in the middle. Now my first priority, it's always starting to get the footage. If you're gonna film and you're confident that that's what you wanna do, you need to go after that footage first. Once you get the animal on, they're calm, that's when you get ready to make your shot. Now, that can be easier said than done, but if you really wanna make it happen, it's the best way to do it. So on this hunt, I was in Illinois. It was cold, it was late season, I had worked extremely hard, but I didn't have any cameraman around, and I wanted to go hunting. So instead of just giving it up and saying, nah, I'll just quit, I carried all that gear up a hill, all the way through, put it in the blind, and that probably is one of the most difficult parts of self-filming. It's the fact that you've got to carry all that gear in, and it's just you. So once I got all that gear in, I said, you know what? This is where I'm gonna stay hunting. I'm gonna come back and forth, leave my stuff in the blind each day to make it a little easier as we went. Well, as we were going, I was seeing some deer, just having a great time, and all of a sudden, a huge buck came out. Now, it was late. It was almost shooting light. I probably only had 10 minutes left, and I'm getting the camera set up, and I actually had 2 cameras in the blind. I had one out filming the deer and another camera filming me. Again, if you're gonna do it, you want those real reactions. I just got a monster buck all by myself. And I got a beautiful deer. Now this buck turned out to be a 174-inch deer, just an awesome opportunity and an amazing place. This was at Golden Triangle Whitetail in West Central Illinois. Now this is a spot that I've come year after year, and I've had good luck all the time. I've self-filmed, I've had cameramen, I've even asked everybody else to come and help film me. In fact, years earlier, I didn't have a cameraman either, but I talked Mike Pavlik, the lodge owner, into coming out and filming me, and boy, did that pay off. We ended up getting a 202-inch giant whitetail after a pack of coyotes chased it to me. And you know what? To have footage like that, that was unbelievable. Had I tried doing it by myself, maybe I'd have got it, maybe I wouldn't have. Sometimes it's nice just having someone else in the tree to calm your nerves down, but that just goes to show you don't always necessarily need a cameraman. It's great if you can, but what's important is getting out there, trying to get it done, and if you really want to do the self-filming thing, you've got to stick with it. Do not shoot an animal without it being on camera. Wait it out, and that time will come.
This segment was brought to you by Boss Buck. For the most user-friendly and dependable feeder on the market, choose Boss Buck feeders. Now you're getting serious. Winchester Deadly Passion is presented by Cuddyback Digital. More deer, fewer blanks. Hard-hitting Easton Arrows. Golden Triangle Whitetail. Winchester, celebrating 150 years of legendary excellence. Scent Killer Gold with Hunt Dry technology. Apply it, dry it, and go hunt. Rage Broadheads, leading the evolution in lethal technology. Convergent Hunting Solutions, where experience, innovation, and passion meet. Sportsman's Alliance, protecting hunting from coast to coast. Engel Coolers, the original high-performance cooler company. And Moose Utility Division, your leader in ATV, UTV accessories.
So I've talked a ton about filming yourself on deer hunts, but I've also done it for turkey hunts. Now for turkey hunting, I like to be in a blind. I do a lot of gun hunting and bow hunting, and usually blinds are my favorite way. Now a lot of times people say, well, a blind is so boring. Well, that's true if the turkeys aren't coming through, but when they're coming through, to see them interact in your decoy, I absolutely love it. Plus, when you're filming yourself, it is way easier. And on this hunt, I was in Illinois out. It had been raining literally all week. Never stopped, just non-stop rain. And finally, I look over and I see a hen right by my blind. Now, I had no idea where she came from, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I turn over and there's a gobbler right there in my decoy. So I get my gun ready, and this is when it's tough. You're trying to make sure the camera's on him, you're getting your gun ready, and this bird, he was huge. And I made a shot, put this turkey right down, and I was so excited. It ended up being my biggest gobbler ever. What an absolutely awesome bird. 3 gorgeous, long, thick beards, really a nice bird. A huge triple bearded turkey, and it was a blast. Having him come in my decoys, having that element of surprise, well, it does really make it exciting. Now, yeah, it does get a little boring sometimes, sitting in the rain in that blind, having nobody else to talk to, but that's what I love. I love being out there. I love seeing that interaction. And on this hunt, put it all together, was able to film myself, and once again, decoys made me more successful. They allowed that bird to be preoccupied over there, so I was able to get everything situated. I was in no big hurry, and I was able to get it done, self-filming on my very own turkey hunt.
Memory Chase, building our future, one child at a time.
Memory Chase is all about getting more kids involved and features home video from viewers just like you. This week we're heading to Illinois with 9-year-old Preston Gardner.
I think you just killed that guy. You just killed him at 150 yards with a stalk. Think you can pull him all the way up that hill? I'll follow you. You getting heavy yet?
Very.
Very? You excited? Were you having fun yet? Now we just gotta get a deer tonight, right?
Yes, sir.
You just drilled him.
Sir,
You just drilled him.
I hit it.
You got it.
What do?
Am I shaking more than you?
I'm shaking. I'm shivering so bad.
What'd you just do, Preston?
Killed a deer.
Did you? What do you think of that deer?
I like him.
You liked him? What do you think about our makeshift ground blind here?
Awesome.
It's pretty awesome, isn't it? Give me a high five, buddy. Good shot. Real good shot. Is that him?
Daddy, here. Yeah.
Get in there. Here. Look at that thing. Hold him up. What do you think of that?
That's where I was.
That's where you were aiming, huh? He didn't even make it out of the field. Is he as pretty as you thought he was? He is pretty nice, isn't he? Big old buck. How old do you think he is?
4.
4?
4.5.
Yeah, he could be 4.5. That's probably pretty close. Big bodied boy, isn't he?
If you or someone you know has youth hunting footage that they'd like to share, we'd love to feature their hunt. Visit memorychase.com for details. So a chance to see yourself on TV, a new mission bow, plus tons of other great gear for each weekly winner, why not enter today? Memory Chase, building our future one child at a time.
This segment was brought to you by Convergent Hunting Solutions. Try their electronic game calls today, featuring Bluetooth technology to work right with your smartphone. Winchester Deadly Passion is presented by Winchester, celebrating 150 years of legendary excellence. Matthews Archery, catch us if you can. Field and Stream, where traditions begin. ScoutLookWeather.com. Download the free ScoutLook hunting app for your smartphone. Reinhardt, the best archery targets in the world. Analogics, protect your deer herd with the power of science. Winchester, the American legend. Sure Shot Jewelry. Check out the Melissa Bachman collection today. And Boss Buck, for the most user-friendly and dependable feeder on the market. Now you're getting serious. Closed captioning is brought to you by Cuddyback Digital. Upgrade to Cuddyback and your images will never look better.
So we've now covered turkey hunting, we've covered deer hunting from in the ground, deer hunting up in a tree stand. Now what about when you've got to do it spot and stock? Not an easy setup. I don't care what type of hunting you're doing. But on this hunt, I was out in Colorado and I had put in 11 days, all by myself, trying to film, and I had one mule deer I was going after. This was a big old muley. He had a velvet, beautiful high rack, and I had been so close on so many occasions, but I just couldn't get it done. I had tried sitting in tree stands. I had tried stalking through the alfalfa. I had done all sorts of different things, and I just couldn't get on them. So finally, I decided I know where these deer are coming through. I'm literally gonna take my little camera, I'm gonna get set up, and I'm gonna wait till they come through. Well, it worked out perfectly. As I'm sitting literally right in the bushes with my little camera, I can see those deer coming through, and they started coming, and they were in a big bachelor group. And finally, the first one came through, the second one, and I'm literally shaking to death. I was shaking so bad, I couldn't even range the distance. But luckily, I had ranged it before. It was right around 50 yards, and I'm watching one deer after another come through, and this is 11 days of hard work, everything coming together, filming myself, and all of a sudden that big muley comes through. I make the shot, he spins around, runs out into the field, and I couldn't even believe it. This muley tipped right over, and it was truly one of the happiest days I'd ever had. This was so much hard work, so much dedication. This has been a buck. I have put more time into this guy. I have so much footage of him, been filming out here on my own, and he is an absolute beauty. And most people would say, if you got to do a spot and stock mule deer hunt, you'll never get it done. Well, you can get it done, especially when you're filming yourself. It sure didn't make it any easier, but I was able to put everything together. I was dedicated and I didn't give up. And that's the most important thing. Yeah, I could have possibly got them from a tree stand. I could have got them in other ways, but you have to think smart when you're filming yourself. You have to think about what is gonna be the easiest setup. You want to be stationary and have the animals coming to you. That's going to be your highest chance of success, because if you've got to try to get up on an animal and you have limited time, well, it's going to be difficult to get your camera ready to take the shot. So if you can set up where they want to be, that way you're situated, ready to go, it can all work out. And it really was One of those experiences that you'd never think could work out filming yourself.
Follow Melissa on Twitter at Melissa Bachman, on Facebook at facebook.com/Winchester Deadly Passion, and Instagram at Melissa_Bachman for behind-the-scenes footage, photos, giveaways, and much more. This segment, Melissa was hunting with Mike Pavlik of Golden Triangle Whitetail. To book your next whitetail hunt, visit goldentrianglewhitetail.com and tell them Melissa sent you.